I had a certain vision for my life. I've always wanted to work with an elite group of people. My greatest fear was that I may never get that. I may never be that person.
I was looking for people who could trust me and people I could trust in order to be in a valuable partnership where the team did something for me and I could do something for the team.
Oh yeah. Barn up. Let's give it up.
This is the first place I've ever truly found it.
I'm finally living my dream. Without this business model, I don't know where I would be. Probably I would have ended up bankrupt. I don't know. When I first started, I didn't really know if I could even do this business. But then a year later, to be standing on stage as like the top female producer for the year just kind of showed me that anything is possible.
There is no better opportunity in this country right now than to build a business with Symmetry.
That first conference that Ayers took me to, the thing that attracted me the most to Symmetry in that moment was not the potential for the money or something, a new career out of the restaurant business. It was seeing the types of people that I was going to get to do business with and do life with.
This is Daryl.
Man, I don't care if we're selling, hair care products. If I can help people and I get to spend time doing this, like hanging out with cool people, I don't care. Just show me what I need to do.
With Symmetry, I found a tremendous gift. And I think one thing that I believe about gifts is when you've been given something, it's really your responsibility then to share it.
What we do and what we don't do impacts a life.
I've seen a lot of people get so much time back. I've seen people get their families back. I've seen people get their health back. What this company has been able to do for me, for my family, is the options for today and the options for the future, they're just unlimited.
Since I found Symmetry, I've found what I think is the best version of me.
Commit to this opportunity and turn your life around.
My dad always believed if you take care of people, if you really care about people and you look back, you're going to find out you have a lot of people behind you. And that's the way I felt when I actually met Brandon and Casey. I felt like they had our best interest in heart. My dad always wanted a place that we all can call home. So Symmetry has been that for me.
I could retire right now. I'm so blessed with the fantastic, incredible team and the incredible system that Symmetry has. But there's no way I'm retiring. I love just seeing people grow, seeing people get better out of life, and seeing people happy. I love my Symmetry family. Never retire.
Woo! Well done, guys.
That was a good one.
That was really good. Hey, Doug. Hey, Whit.
Hello. Hey, Casey.
Good to see you.
With his name in here.
All right, we got a lot of fun stuff to get to. Let's kick it off with some leaderboards, as always.
Do it.
We had a great week. Doug, you're on the toggles, right?
I'm on it. I will be playing the role of Brandon Ellison today.
I like it.
See if I can nail it, Casey.
I'm sure you can.
Sure I can mess up names with the best of them. All right, let's see here. Whoa, where am I at? Where's my start slideshow button? There it is. All right, Casey, we do have a great call coming up today with, let's see, Managing Vice President Marlin Faulkner with Regional Agency Director Michael Rudick and key leaders Hayden Berger and Jennifer Baines.
Yep.
Some great stuff coming up, but also some pretty cool other stuff we're going to be talking about before that, Casey. I'm excited to get there as well.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, let's jump on in. So our top 10 new writers for the week. Coming in at number 3, Adam Wilson. Number 2, Charles Dodson. And number 1, Gary Applewhite. For the month of September, we have Zachary David Morris at number 3. Number 2, Yushua Waleed Nettles. Whew. That was a challenging one right out of the gates.
It's a good one. You nailed it.
Slow down a little bit. 2 A's gets me, you know. Number 1, we got Michael Martin Wright. So congratulations. That is great first month, Michael Martin Wright. And congratulations and welcome to all of our new writers. All right, our top 10 producers this week. We've got coming in at number 3, Nicole Fusco. Number 2, Richard Osterhout. And number 1, George White with 27,800 in APV. For the month of September, George White up number 1 this week and bumped him up to number 4 for the month. Number 3 for the month, Sean Hogue at 47,000. Lee Jed at, just shy of 50,000 for the month. And coming in at number 1 this week, we have the Godfather, Tony Capistrano with 52,000 in APV. Nice. Great week and month for all of our top producers. All right. Top app count producers for the week. Number 3, Marty Valor. Number 2, James McKeon. Actually, there's a log jam at number 2. We've got quite a few. Number 3, quite a few people at 15. And first time in a while, Casey, we got a tie at the top. So James McKean and Lindsay Reinald, both with 16 applications. Great week. Top app count leaders for the month. Allison Bent, 45. Ben Miller, also 45. And Tony Capistrano with 48. Got our top 5 Medicare supplement producers for the week. Kelly Shout, Donna Norris with 2 apps for 2,500, and Richard Osterhout with 2 apps for just over 4,500 in APV. We've got top 5 critical illness producers. Number 3, Lindsay Reinald. Number 2, Rudy Jurgas. Man, some tough consonant combinations here for me today.
Yeah, it is.
Number 1.
Well, when you do it, buddy.
That one's there. There you go. That one's right in my wheelhouse. Number 1, Tina Lane.
Nice.
Just shy of 5,500 in APV. Also on our monthly leaderboard, Tina Lane. Number 2, Floyd Bennett. And number 1 for the month, John Paul Vetter with 6,500 in APV on those critical illness products. Great additional sales to add when you're in the home. All you got to do is ask the question. All right, top 5 disability producers. Got number 3, Justin Markle. Number 2, Gina Sforza. Number 1, James Trent Price. For the month, coming in at number 3, Marty Valor. Number 2, Mary Strader. And number 1, Robert Skinner with just, 2,800, just north of 2,800 in APV for the month. Our top 5 IUL producers, Nicholas Pettish, Dave Lappin, and John Foltz. For the month, coming in at number 3, Linda Chung. Number 2, John Griffin. And number 1, Jennifer White Lee with 48,000 in IUL production for the month of September. Great work, Jennifer. Nice. We've got our top 5 annuity producers, and certainly, Casey, after our days of meetings we got through, some pretty exciting stuff coming around the corner for annuities. A lot of opportunity for growth there for the company for sure. So we've got number 3, Richard Osterhout. Number 2, Michael Block. And number 1, Jake Davis.
Nice.
Top producers for the month, Ronald Dilbert, Lindsay Reinald, and number 1, Jake Davis for the week. And took the month. Look at that.
Very nice.
Impressive annuity week right there. All right, our top 3 DFL, debt-free life producers. We've got number 3, Kim Bogdan. Number 2, George Matthews. And number 1, George White. For the month, Betsy Barr. Number 2, Fast Eddie Pritchett, showing up on the monthly leaderboard. And number 1, also for the week and month, congratulations, George White, top DFL producer. All right, top recruits week to date. Number 3, Andrew Jimenez, and then tied atop Zach Little and Chris Cook. Top 3 directs for the week. We got Keyshawn Monteith, Jacob Hogue, and coming in on top, Kevin Purdy. Kevin Purdy keeping the foot on the gas out there, Casey.
Yep, he is.
Killing it on the recruiting side. Great work. Great work to everybody. All right, our new riders week to date. Coming in number 2. Well, we got a tie atop the leaderboard between Kishan and Janet, and coming in third place, we got Dana Else. Top new riders for directs, Miranda Martin and Kishan and Kevin tied for the new rider lead for the week. All right, top 10 key leaders. We got number 3, Richard Osterhout. Number 2, Stephen P. Jackson. And number 1, Klaus Luther. For the month, we've got Stephen Jackson, Linda Chung, and number 1, Mark Neubauer. That is a great month. 85,000 in ABV submit for a key leaders. Got quite a few people clearly on pace here for that next level of leadership as an agency owner. So
10 at least in the pipe there that are hitting agency owner numbers.
Wonder where it goes to after that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Work, guys.
All right, top 10 agency owners. We've got Penny Blackman at number 3, Mark Nadeau, number 2 for the week, and coming in at number 1, Esther Carlson, just over 50,000 for the week. For the month of September, we have Grant Lieber at 144, Mark Nadeau at 145, and Esther Carlson taking both the week and the month with 164,000 in production for the month. Great work, agency owners. Top 10 base shops. Number 3, Kishan Monteith. Number 2, Melissa Weigel. And number 1, Chris Cook at 54,900. For the week, for the month, we've got Kishan Monteith, 3rd place. Melissa Weigel, 2nd place. Is it going to be the same? Yep. 1st place, Chris Cook. That is steady base shop production right there from that leaderboard. Great work, everybody. All right, top 10 agency directors. Number 3, Chris Cook. Number 2, Melissa Weigel. Number 1, Larry Griffin. Great week. On our monthly leaderboards, Chris Cook coming in at number 3, Melissa Weigel coming in at number 2, and top of the month as well, Larry Griffin. Congratulations, 452,000 in production for the month. All right, top 10 RAD and beyond. For those new, RAD stands for Regional Agency Director, meaning you have at least 2 agency owners underneath you and direct to you. Coming in number 3, Mr. Lynn Watkins. Number 2, Eddie Pritchett. And number 1 for the week with a great week in production, Marshall Whalen with just over 900,000 for the week. Coming in number 3 for the month, also Lynn Watkins. Number 2, Edward Pritchett. And number 1 for the month of September with over 3 million in production for the month, Marshall Whalen. All right, top 10 directs, those who have reached the top contract of 120% with the company. We got Miranda Martin, 167,000. Jacob Hogue for 190,000. And number 1 for the directs, Kevin Purdy, 266,000 in production for the week. Looking at the month of September, we've got Jacob Hogue in 3rd place, Kishan Monteith in 2nd place, and then topping it out, also Kevin Purdy with, just shy of $1 million for the month of September.
Funny how that recruiting production there seems to match up a lot.
Yeah, Casey, there's something behind that theory you got there.
You should think about that a little bit more.
Like, see at the top of the recruit leaderboard, the new writer leaderboard,
right,
and production leaderboard. Well, we're hitting our first week of production for what is a 5-week turn-in for the month of October. So great opportunity to push hard and get that production moving. All right, so would you look at that? What was we were talking about yesterday, Casey? Just how much is production up in general just from the contest rolled out here with a John Hancock, something like 150% up over our previous weeks and months. So
yeah, I think it was Stacy Green saying, "Well, I think the bike contest was a hit, like 150% increase in a week of production." So looks like a lot of you guys want these little e-motos.
Yeah, I mean,
good.
Absolutely. I think it's bikes, but I think it's also your wonderful salesmanship. If this life insurance gig doesn't work out for you, Casey, you got a future in Thuron sales, as far as I can tell. Yeah, whole lot of fun those. Absolutely. All right, well, let's hit it. So we got top 3 right now. We've got Nick and Patty. Oh, it's shaking up a little bit at the top here. So number 3, Nick and Patty, but top 3 winners do get a Saran bike or their choice of cash equivalent. I personally would take the Saran bike. Number 2, George and Janet Matthews. Coming in at number 1, Linda Chung.
Nice.
Hop, skipping, jumping to the top of the leaderboard. Great job, Melinda. Everybody on that leaderboard still in the game for the e-bike contest with John Hancock. All right. Casey.
Love these slides.
Love these. Absolutely. Look at that. Bonus production. This is our, well, we got a little correction up there. Our former 110 equity bonus, now our 120 equity bonus. Whole lot of reason to keep pushing for that top contract, and not just yourself, but growing that leadership around you so you can start to get into the equity bonus territory. Total of $583,000 for the month of August. Got our capital.
That's a bonus, Doug.
There it is. That's a bonus. That's not even income. That's just a bonus.
That's not just the normal income. That is in addition to.
That's just the Cool Whip on top of your pie.
Right.
That is awesome. All right. Top capital bonuses. Kevin Purdy also showing up at the top. These things tend to carry through as far as I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Top capital bonus, another $42,000. That's for anybody who's reached a level of agency owner. Can avail themselves of the capital bonus through the criteria can be found conveniently located in your agency owner handbook on the Symmetry website. All right, top producers for the month. Also, whoo, that is great. We got our producer bonus outpacing the capital bonus this month. So everybody on there gets, on top of all of the sales they made, this additional bonus for just doing one heck of a job in that personal production. Congratulations. Top bonus for the month for producer, LaTanya James.
Nice. Good work.
I wonder if there's a total. Ooh, here it is. I didn't want to have to try to do that math in my head. Lord knows nobody wants that. $687,000 in additional bonus money paid out to equity partners, agency owners, and producers for the month of August. That is awesome to see.
That's in addition to, I don't know, trying to think of a rough estimate on the amount of commission paid to the entire distribution channel. I mean, if you take, you know, a monthly issued amount of business, I mean, it's probably up in the $8 to $10 million range in a month. And then you throw in the nice $687,000 bonus right on top of that. Pretty cool to see, you know, 10 years after starting the company, how much money you guys are generating for yourselves out there.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And you're doing it by helping a ton of people, whether that be the clients you're out there engaging with or the agents that are helping the clients, you know, and the agents getting themselves in a lot better financial position. It's like, you know, the old saying, we've used it so much, but you know, you help enough people get what they want, you get everything you want. And that's the common denominator with everyone getting paid these bonuses and these commissions. They're just, you know, they're helping people.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool.
Life-changing money that sits
Yeah.
right on this board, and not just income, but in that additional money. So we got year-to-date, $4.6 million in equity bonuses paid, just shy of $500,000 for both capital and producer bonuses year to date, with a total of $5.6 million. 8 months through the year, so there's still 3 months left to push those numbers up, and we love it to see when those numbers are going up and up. That means everybody out there that is working hard is getting rewarded for it.
Wouldn't surprise me based on our targets and everything we're trying to hit for 2021 that we would pay out probably between 15 and $20 million, if not more, if we hit all of our targets and everything we're lining up. So
absolutely,
pretty cool. Pretty cool place to be, guys. I mean, you know, And before you go to that next slide, Doug, I'll just kind of set it up like this. As you guys know, last week we mentioned we have someone new to introduce you to, new key member of our team behind the scenes. But I always also recognize that there's probably a lot of newish people on these national calls, as there should be. We recruit 200-300 people a week. There should be a lot of new people getting on these calls. So I just want to kind of set the backdrop a little bit for everyone for a second. We started this company, will be 11 years in October. So we just celebrated our 10th anniversary. And it was originally myself and Brandon and Brian and my brother Linwood and my sister Pam. And we started basically in the spare bedroom, and myself and Brandon went out in the field, just like everyone on this call is doing currently or has done. We sat with the families you guys sit with. We wrote them applications. We realized that, man, that's duplicatable, and there's a lot of demand for it. So why not build an agency? And then why not actually put systems and structure around that process so that other people can leverage a system and not have to do all the legwork and all of the work themselves? The vision started as a way to kind of create almost like a franchisable type model that you didn't have to buy into with $1 million, that you could actually just buy into with elbow grease and sweat equity. And it took us a little bit to get started, but we fast forward 10 years from now, and we're doing over $100 million of business as a company. Mm-hmm. And I will say that about Doug, it was probably 2 years ago, and Brian can speak to this too if he's on the host code. But it was about maybe 2.5 years ago that myself and Brandon and Brian, and I remember these conversations. I remember a phone call where we all just kind of were just talking, which we do that a lot. We talk probably daily, all three of us. And we just started to kind of recognize that we were at a little bit of a crossroads with our company, with Symmetry. And the crossroads were really about, what do we want to do? Do we want to rest, or do we want to kind of lean in and take the hill, as a phrase that we've been using a lot behind the scenes lately? In fact, our whole Q4 Rocks meeting we've had the last couple of days, that was the theme. It was, we're taking the hill. But that was a call about 2.5 years ago where, we kind of said, we have this beautiful company. We have, such amazing leaders and producers, and we can probably kind of coast right now, and things would probably be okay. But the very nature of our value proposition, what we're selling to people, is not just an opportunity to sell insurance. It's an actual opportunity to transition from selling insurance to actually building something of value. And in order for that to come true, we've kind of backed ourselves into a corner in a way. We have to continue to expand the boundaries. And so the decision was, we should lean into this. We have an opportunity here to actually make 10 times, 100 times the impact if we lean into this together collectively and actually make some big boy moves. Now, that also came with the recognition that Brandon, Brian, and myself are insurance agents. And while Brian has had some experience in building something and having kind of a triggering event or some sort of an exit, we had never had any sort of experience, or a lot of experience to kind of do that. And so the recognition for us was, we really need two things. We need a strategy, and we need the right people. And the strategy is where Quility was born. The idea with Quility, show my shirt, is to actually take this extremely attractive, extremely a valuable distribution channel that all of you guys are a part of, which is industry recognized as a leading distribution channel in our space, by far at the top. How do we take that and actually prepare ourselves for the future? And the idea there was to heavily invest in technology, not to replace you, not to replace an agent, because we are not betting on this idea that some companies are trying to play around with, especially like in Silicon Valley, that we can make this agentless. It's not getting traction. It's not going to work. Life insurance needs to be sold. It needs us. It needs someone to go out and sit down with that family. And so the idea was, how do we heavily invest in technology to actually create the best place for the agent to work, and actually use technology to empower the agent and equip them with really awesome tools, not just to get them more sales, but to actually save them a ton of time in the process. And then that's where Assura was looped into the deal, where we said, let's merge, because what we've figured out how to do with Symmetry really well is get in front of new people, get in front of new clients. And we have a recruiting machine that can keep that funnel going. What Assura and Brian had figured out how to do really well was to actually take existing clients and sell new policies to those, because the cost of client acquisition is only going up in the industry. So the people that are going to win the game are guys that can figure out how not only to get the client, but to keep the client and help them in that journey along the way with more products. So Assura has that absolutely dialed. Symmetry's got the client acquisition part dialed. Why not marry it together and then overlay Quility, the tech platform, on top of it? So that was the strategy. The people part, in some ways, as important, if not more important. And that's where you guys started to see us, bring in guys like Doug Zay, our Chief Operating Officer, and then there was Joe Denby, and I may be getting some of these out of order here, but we knew we needed to really lean into lead distribution and lead creation. To stay ahead of all of that, and that's where Joe Dindy has really come in. And then we have, then you guys started to see Meredith Ellison and Whitney really come in and understand, like, if we're going to make this move and we're going to take the hill, one of our core values is relentless pursuit of personal growth, and we're going to all have to get bigger and better and grow in order to handle what we're trying to accomplish. Then you saw Mark Palmer on one of our previous Evolutions calls, rolling him out as our new Chief Strategy Officer, helping us kind of figure out, how to create the most valuable thing. And then we introduced Steve Fletcher a couple weeks ago as our new Chief Financial Officer. And another big position we've been looking for to fill is what we would call a Chief Revenue Officer, or a CRO, an extremely important position. This is going to be someone that comes in and kind of quarterbacks us through the process and the strategy that we've kind of laid out. And so we're extremely excited about where we are as a company. I think you guys are starting to see movement behind the scenes to kind of accomplish some of the goals and vision we've laid out for you guys. And this new hire in the CRO role is certainly a big part of that. So we'd formally kind of like to introduce you guys to Mr. Karsten Gabert. Karsten. And
hi, everyone.
A lot of you guys probably recognize Karsten. Certainly a familiar face for a handful of people on the call, as Karsten's one of his previous positions that we would all recognize as he was head of sales at America, and did a fantastic job. Karsten, you were always one of our favorite guys to hang around with the insurance companies. Not that they're not all nice, but you always just kind of were one of us, and we always enjoyed being with you and seeing what you were able to do with America and what you were able to do to help us. But you also have had, after America, you've also had some experience helping a pre-needs company really get a massive lift off the ground in a very short amount of time. So, Carson, you know, your resume just really stood out to us as someone who could help us with what we're trying to accomplish here. And it didn't take us long to sit down for not much more than a couple hours initially to say, hey, I think we have some serious opportunity and some serious alignment here. So welcome aboard, man.
Thank you. So good to be back. It's great to be here in Asheville. I think I met a lot of you, but as Casey mentioned, you're growing so fast. And by the way, those numbers are incredible. So last time I was able to look at them 2-3 years ago, they were already way ahead everybody else. But what you've created is an unbelievable story. So congratulations, Casey, the team. And maybe one of those learnings as coming into this beautiful country 22 years ago, there's an American dream. And I think you're part of a huge American dream. You're creating an American dream. And for me, getting that phone call from you guys 2-3 weeks ago, or the text from Brian Pope and saying, hey, let's sit down and see if there's a fit, could not have been better. And since then it went fast, 2-3 weeks, met the expanded team, and I'm now in Asheville and can't be happier to be part of the team. So thank you, Casey.
Absolutely, man. Well, share with everyone a little bit, just for a couple minutes about, you know, what you're excited about, why you felt like there was alignment, maybe to start with.
Yeah, I think you really, wow, Casey, you nailed it. the way you describe it, it's just from coming in from the outside and really have been able to experience really your model for a long time. It is very different in industry, and as you know, there's plenty of other companies who are going out and kind of consolidating distribution and trying to just bring everybody together in a pool, but not creating differentiation. And so looking at the recruiting, looking at really the machine of Symmetry, Brian Pope calls it the ball. So he mentioned the other day, this is a tennis analogy, possibly with any other sport. So he was talking to a really good tennis coach, and the tennis, he asked, what's the one thing, right, in tennis? What are you coaching? And after long of discussion, he said, hey, it's really about watching the ball. And then the coach asked Pope and saying, what's the ball in your business? And I think it took him a day or two to think, but in saying, it's really you, it's the agents, it's the recruiting machine. So what's the core of this, which I think is so different from many out there, or from all of them. Then you have the technology, which the team has been building for a very long period of time. And now you're creating this CMS or catching of truly, maybe for the first time, creating a cross-sell engine. So if you combine all of this, it is a very compelling story. And the last 3 weeks, whoever I told it to, it doesn't matter if it's a few people, or bankers, or other talents we may be able to onboard as part of the team. It's an incredible story and resonates. So it's very unique. And as I said, can be proud to be a part of the team. I think that evaluation to become $1 billion company is very well in reach. So just, nice. Very excited.
It's going to be fun. Hey, Pope, are you on, buddy?
I am. Sorry, I couldn't log on as a panelist, so I finally got the link to do it. That's my fault. So I just want to tell everybody, well, first of all, I'm really excited, and we're all really lucky to have Carson. I'm going to go back about 2 years ago. We went into America when Carson was still at America. It was about 2.5 years ago. And we wanted to have a conversation around technology and around their technology, about stuff we were doing, so that we were focused, our efforts in the right area. And what was interesting about it is I'd always known Carson as, the head of sales over at America, and more product oriented, more around the stuff that we're accustomed to with folks that work at home offices. What I wasn't expecting and what I didn't know was, we had about 20, I think, Carson, we had about 25 people in that room, including a bunch of IT technology people, finance, all that product, all that. But what was interesting, there was 3 of us and there was like 22 other people at America. The only guy that really got where we were coming from was Carson. And he understood exactly what we were trying to accomplish. And it was Carson was by far the most engaged person in the room and understood all this. even though I'm thinking, he's in the sales side of things and the product side of things, but he understood the technology and he understood our approach and our strategy to it more than anybody else in the room. I was just really actually pretty surprised. I don't mean that in a negative way. I just never saw Carson in that light. And then as we spent the next couple of days and we really started digging in and talking, it was like, man, there is so much more to Carson than I understood or realized at the time. And so when we were looking to fill this position, it was a real short list. It was a really short list. And I think we certainly got the right guy. In fact, I know we got the right guy for the job. And I think everybody's going to be really pleasantly surprised. Carson is an incredibly intelligent person, but I also understands like so many different things. And I didn't, but Carson, I think you might want to spend just a couple of minutes on your background at GE Capital. Carson's Six Sigma certified, which is a big deal in business. And it was just, what's funny is it was just like peeling back layers. And the more we peeled back layers, the more layers we found as this all started to happen. I shouldn't be surprised. It's just that, I guess Carson's not somebody that probably talks about himself a lot. So it was a really cool and interesting experience to get to know him and understand his real business strengths. It was so much more, there was so much more depth than I ever realized. So, if you want to spend just a couple of minutes, Carson, on what you've done the last 15 or 20 years.
How much time do I have, Casey? I know you have a big agenda, but to maybe real quick, it's truly, again, go back to the American dream. Came here in 1998, taught tennis at UVA, and really without thinking much about business or anything. And as you know, this is what you do every day. Relationships are everything. So I taught a young, very talented goalkeeper, and his father ran an insurance company. So I spoke very little English, and he just said, "Hey, why don't you learn the language? Come down to Lynchburg, Virginia, and see if you like insurance." And that was First Colony Life. I'm not sure if you remember that. It's one of those old brokerage houses. But a year later, again, American Dream, General Electric buys us. So at that point, by far the biggest company in the world. And Jack Welch comes in and says, "Hey, we need to do the Six Sigma thing. Really think about processes." And what it really is, think about the customer, build processes, and execute and measure this thing and really build it up. So I was one of the first certified, I call them black belts. So they give you nice belts if you somehow do something good for the company. So it became that. And then also one of the major learnings for me, as a GE employee, they sent me up to Boston to work with Fidelity Investment, not to work on just GE products, but picture this. So you're sent somewhere and they said, whatever it takes to make your customer grow, you work on their competitors. Just do it. Because if we grow, if the customer grows, we grow with them. And I will never forget this, living inside your own customer and learning what it truly takes. Remarkable. And I had the chance to work on an IPO, taking Genworth public. And then my ex-wife had it. She's like, we moved 8 times in 8 years or something like this. Like, we either go to Germany where you are, or we're heading to Des Moines where I'm from. So moved to Des Moines and worked a little bit with Aviva until we sold it to Athene, and then spent a lot of time with all of you at Americo. So a fantastic time there, building the instant decision engine together with the team, and now I'm back, so I can't be happier to be here. Looking forward to this.
That's awesome, Carson. Thank you very much, man. And if you guys want to, if you're near the home office, you happen to be on that first floor there, take a peek in the old dining room where Native used to be. That's where Carson and team. The nice thing about Carson is we also inherited a team along with that. It's pretty awesome.
He prefers to call it his entourage, Casey.
His entourage, yeah. Super sharp group of people working down there, and it's what we've just turned into the war room. And it is just filled with sticky notes all over the place. And man, they're attacking it. They have a 100-day, Carson, you developed a 100-day plan to kind of kick things off. And man, it's going to make a tremendous impact.
Well,
Casey, one more little thing. So you asked me how would you describe the title, and there's all these titles in business, but maybe think it as a quarterback. Think about quarterback around anything to do with revenue generation. And that's why we kind of create that war room. We want to help you building those tools Brian and Casey described. So we want to be there listening to you, but also the plan has been set and really helping execute this plan, but doing this really to make you grow. Remember this thing, at the customer, for this customer, it's all about you. Want to bring tools to you to help you grow the business. And I can guarantee you one thing, we're on the path on that $1 billion company. Any conversation so far validates that. So keep it up. You're the lifeblood of us. And if we create that link, when we create that link in a massive scale, in doing that first time ever cross-sell with you as bringing it in, creating the tools to make it easier, make that hand over to our other friends at Quality. This is unique. Nobody can do this. Don't go anywhere else. Anyhow, very proud of the team, awesome, proud of being here. Appreciate everything.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, one thing I also want to say is having, expanded the team and getting different sets of eyes and brains working on, solutions that we've been working on. Man, it's just made things so much better. And I just flew in last night. I was in Asheville for the last few days, and I was able to go through what we're getting ready to launch here pretty quick. I was able to go through that section of the technology that I hadn't seen a lot of it. I mean, I had bits and pieces, and I had some input and feedback and all these kinds of things, but I never really got to really see it was like going through a house and seeing all the room and the detail and all things. And I'm telling you guys, we keep saying, "Oh, wait till you see what's coming." Well, it's literally getting ready to launch, and it is badass.
Yep.
Okay. Everybody is going to love where we're headed with all of this. And this is, this is like stage one of probably 10 stages we're going to be going through in this rollout as we build out functionality and everything. I'm just so excited. I told everybody, we got to start giving people previews of this stuff because we keep talking about it, and this stuff is so cool. I just think about back when I was in the field and doing what everybody does. If having the ability to have some of these tools would have made life so much easier and made me so much more effective as a builder.
Absolutely, man. Well said. Thank you, Carson. Looking forward to getting you around everyone a lot more. So, and I know we may have some plans to do that in the fourth quarter as well. So we'll keep everyone fit on that. So thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Hey, and just a quick update on the QMS aspect of things. We're talking about, again, the vision if you're an agent. And you got to remember, me and Brandon and Brian we're agents at heart. And we're always thinking about, what would have been really nice for us to have when we were agents, or, when you're agency building and you're kind of in that hunt to build a team. The vision for Quality Member Services, in addition to it being a real value add to the actual members that are involved into Quality, think about your clients having access to discount programs and other benefits and stuff that keep them engaged with Quality. But on the agent front, Brian, imagine opening the door with the mortgage protection cell, because that's why you were there, to help. You worked a lead, you made your sell. Everyone's used to doing that, and then it funnels into the career channel at Quality. And the career sales force actually now goes in and does what they do, which is to take that client, and whether it be maybe right off the bat, reset an appointment with them to help them with an annuity, or help them with potentially a debt-free life if you don't want to get certified to do that, or someone in your hierarchy is not certified to do that, or to help them with an additional product. We're going to continue to line up products into the career channel safely. But imagine that original agent, Brian, writing that mortgage protection policy and then getting paid trails and commissions on every new policy that comes in after that. I mean, that's what we're designing behind the scenes. So right off the bat with QMS, just a little bit of an update as to what's going on. Got some numbers before the call. 244, really, and this is a concerted kind of 2-month effort so far. And they're still kind of working towards getting better data feeds and kind of working out some of the kinks there. But so far in the last 2 months, 244 policies have been submitted. These are on some of your existing policyholders, existing clients. 164 of those have been either paid or are still in pending, getting ready to get paid. So a good, a decent looking issue rate so far. Again, that's 2 months in. And then we have, right now there are 45 career agents. And by the end of the year, there will be 100 career agents. And so they're massively scaling that up behind the scenes. January 1st, we should have 100 seats filled with those career agents. Right now at 45 agents, they're booking about 128 appointments a week. Frank Brenez, I think, texted Spivey. Spivey was telling me before this call, Frank Brenez texted him last week, got a $500 deposit, Doug, and was like, well, what is this? Where did this come from? And that's exactly what we're talking about. Like, you know, before you get out of bed, money just starts popping and flowing into your bank account from just opening that one door, right? And so there's going to be so many stories like that. In fact, another one that I heard a couple of days ago, or yesterday, actually, I think it happened, $250,000 annuity came off of QMS lead. So it's going to be a lot more of that traction happening here. So
yeah.
Keep you guys up to date on it.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that so that everybody kind of understands the goal here, right? So the goal is to create passive income for everybody, not just builders, but people just out that are out producing. And if you do, I think if you do a really good job, and we do a really good job, I think it's probably pretty plausible to say within 12 months that across our distribution channels, we could see a 40 to 50% increase in your pay, right? That you didn't actually have to go generate yourself. So you know, think about it. You go out and you write $100,000, but you get paid like you wrote $150,000. That you place paid $150,000. And that's going. And by the way, that's just the beginning because we're just starting with a couple product lines. And as we add more product lines and we have further, I don't mean to give too many peeks behind the curtain, but as an example, so a lot of the stuff that we're working on is technology and that will support much deeper client engagement so that our name is in front of customers and clients often through financial, I would call it financial wellness apps. Okay. So as that product stack starts to grow, that'll just further embed that passive income more and more and more. And, you know, our goal is to create as much value for everybody throughout the entire enterprise in the way of income, passive income, both for builders and producers, and then in an embedded equity value for what you're helping build.
Yep.
And, you know, if you're going to meet more and more of the people we are hiring, it's directed at attaining all those goals. And we certainly have to have the talent and brain power in order to accomplish those things. But that's our motivation. It's not just, how do we, grow production and all that kind of stuff. No, it's what that production, the makeup of that production, and what it does to for our people.
Yep, that's
which is the focus.
Well said, man.
Yeah.
Dougie.
Yeah, well, I'm just excited. We spent the last 2 days holed up in the barn at Casey's house with the entire Quility organization, and we were asked the question at the beginning of what's working, what's going well, and just to see this alignment between the vision, the opportunity, the strategy, the tactics, And now the people to execute, including Carson, it's truly a sight to see, and just the traction that's being developed as we're implementing these people and systems, and just seeing how things are starting to flow through with much greater ease. I mean, it's I've been here 4 years and I've been excited the whole time. I don't think I've ever been as excited as I was leaving that meeting yesterday, to just know what we had on our plates, and that we had the right people in place to be able to go execute on this and push into 2021 to truly create something special that is transformative. And man, just gratitude to you, gratitude to Brian, gratitude to Brandon, who's not on the call right now, but just, man, what a special thing. You call yourself just a sales guy, but I don't know about that. The vision that you all have brought to this is something to be celebrated. So
a sales guy surrounded by a bunch of smarties. I'm good with that.
And I've never known you to coast at anything in life, Casey. So I can't imagine that this is going to be any different.
No, yeah, exactly.
Than watching you on the bike. So, man.
Well, I know we all got some other good stuff coming, Whit, right?
Yeah, well, let me share. I'm going to go back to sharing real quick. I didn't get these in the right order here. I meant to hit this beforehand, but I'm not quite as well versed in the process.
We got Marlin. We got Marlin Faulkner waiting in the waiting on us here too.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit
really good stuff. So
real fast, we got a couple announcements just to hit real quick. Thursday, October 1st, sales training webinar with Todd Spivey as the Evolutionary Company. Friday, October 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern for Todd Talk. Monday, October 5th, we have the Monday sales training call, and then virtual DFL boot camp on the 6th and the 7th. Whitney, tell them what's coming on the 18th.
Yeah, so on November 18th, y'all know we've got our virtual impact event, and more details are coming out. We're working with marketing and events team, and those details will be coming out to y'all soon. We do have some folks on the call with us, Eric and Julie Prebula and Ryan Miller. If y'all want to turn your cameras on real quick, we have a little live update on some fundraising efforts for Make-A-Wish for our virtual event.
Well, hi. How's everybody doing?
How you doing?
All good.
I tell you,
see y'all. Jealous.
Yeah, Casey, I couldn't be more excited. You guys always, I get so excited, and then we start talking about impact, and it's so interesting because it's like I'm literally at a Make-A-Wish event that Eric and Julie Prebula put on, and how many people do you have registered now?
We got 80 golfers today.
Wow.
So, what do we got? What are we how are we doing for
I think we're about 13,000 right now, and we'll see what we dinner.
That's amazing.
That's awesome, guys.
That's awesome.
That's at least 2 wishes, right, Whit?
That's right. That's right. And they're planning
crazy.
to dump that into our virtual event in November, and just what a way to start that event off, man. That's awesome.
That's very cool.
We have 2 members at our club that have Make-A-Wish kids that are going to be coming to the dinner. So we're really grateful that we're able to put this on.
Yeah, will y'all send us some pictures or video of all that? We'd love to have that if you got it.
Yeah, well, we're not going to send you pictures, but we want to send you a link too, because I know that you guys reach, across the nation. We have just this amazing, well, hi.
Hey, guys.
Hey, there she is. Hey, Julie.
Hey, guys. We wish you were here.
Wish we were too.
We're really excited. We're going to send you guys the link, because I know the one thing about Symmetry family is our impact goes without words. We hit new rocket ship level, and I don't think this could be any different. So if we send you guys a link, we'd love to just to bust out this event, because I know that there's 40 Symmetry people here?
40 Symmetry agents here, 40 members participating in this event.
I don't know, Casey, I feel like it's been so long since I've seen everybody, right? Like when we get into these kind of moments, it's like I just love every aspect of it. So and really the giving back is really amazing. So thank you guys for putting this on, and thank you guys for having us.
Thanks to everybody who donated. So many people out there in Symmetry Nation. Thank you.
And everybody who traveled, and the insurance carriers. The insurance carriers really came through and helped with this event.
Especially the carriers. Yes.
That's awesome, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, well, hit them straight and raise a bunch.
Proud of you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Well done, Ryan.
Yeah, that's awesome, Spivey.
One more, Casey. We're almost there. I think we should reiterate this?
Yes, we should. Yes, we should. Oh, by the way, so that link for the Make-A-Wish is going out, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And Doug, before we do this, I just want to tell everybody real quick, tomorrow's training call is going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about and training how to use some of our newer leads. There's been a little bit of confusion in the field, and we want to clean that up, make sure we're teaching you how to be the most impactful. These leads are actually currently, with the teams that have figured it out and dialed it in, they're actually closing at a slightly higher percentage point than mail-in mortgage protection leads. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're also going to have National Life Group back on. They're going to be rejoining to finish the training they started last week to talk about some of their new opportunities to get business issued faster. I know Darren Stubbs talked a lot about that being a huge help for the team, especially those out in California and many others. So they'll be joining us. And then Friday, the Todd Talk, another special one. We're going to have Matt and Brad Smith themselves on, not just talking about their business and how they created such a powerful, powerful agency, but really spending time talking about Virtual Mentor. And in a couple weeks, we'll also hit on the dialer as well. But Friday will be focused on Virtual Mentor and how to best get new agents to utilize that tool so that we can get them successful in writing business quicker. Nice, Todd. Good stuff, man.
And as you guys know, we have this blitz rolling. We kind of kicked it off kind of last week, announcing it to you guys, and went through the activity tracker. And again, that activity tracker was sent to all the directs, right, Doug?
Yep.
So, you know, we are going to take the top 3 direct agency owners, and more than likely their top 3 or 4 team members for this 90-day blitz. But the idea here is to marry everything we're doing behind the scenes with everything you guys are doing out there this quarter. We are already up from a growth standpoint over last year, even with COVID in the mix, which is something that I think all of us should be super proud of and grateful for, that we are in a business that is still just growing, and it still provides such an awesome opportunity and ability to make money, where so many people do not have that right now. So the idea though is just to let's make sure that we're aligned between behind the scenes and out with you guys. So let's all kind of rally together. This company has been built over the last 10 years with really just probably a series of blitzes, a series of just like 90-day sprints. And so many of the teams that we talked to, Marlin Faulkner getting ready to come on is probably a really good example of teams that just kind of got to where they were by kind of concerted effort team sprints. And so whether you're in it for winning a prize or a contest, or you're just in it for the habits that you're going to create, which is the biggest thing that you get from all of it, and the money that flows from that, lean into this 90-day sprint, this 90-day blitz, and make sure that you're filling those 2 boxes on that activity tracker. Remember, we're going for a minimum of 15 appointments if you're face-to-face a week, or 20 if you're virtual. And on the recruiting side, we're going for a minimum of 15 quality conversations a week. Go for 20 if you can, with people who have either seen the website, they understand who Symmetry is, and it's a good kind of interview type conversation. So we've always found that if you just fill those 2 boxes every week, then the end result will be massive growth. So focus on those 2 things, the number of appointments and the number of quality conversations I have about this business. And that's if you want to build. If you don't want to build, you're not really in a place right now to build a business, make your focus that 15 plus appointments a week. Is that it, Doug, before we move on to Marlin?
That is all.
Okay. Well, on to the main event, guys. Marlin, you out there, buddy?
Yes, sir. I sure am. Good afternoon, Casey Watkins.
How are you, man? You're looking good, buddy. You look like you've lost some more weight. You've trimmed down.
I'm down about 50 pounds. It's a little bit.
Man, that's awesome. How are you doing it?
Unbelievable. You guys, it's like waiting for this cause, like putting a horse, a thoroughbred in the starting gate and putting a carrot out in front of me, making me wait. But unbelievable announcements. We are so fired up for what you guys are doing. I just want to say thank you to you, number one, Doug Zay, for being on the 1s and 2s in place of Brandon. They did a great job. Love you, Doug. And just Casey, what you and Brian and Brandon have created and are still creating, because we always talk about what you've created, but you're still creating. You're in creation phase. And so thank you. We're excited and that we get to be a part of this. And so I'm forever grateful for the opportunity. And we want to, it's going to be a good one.
I love it, man. Well, it's been a really long time. We behind the scenes, we're constantly kind of saying, who do we want to get on the call? Who'd be a good voice to hear right now? And it was a few weeks ago where we said, well, we need to get Marlin on. We haven't heard from Marlin in a while, and the whole company loves you, Marlin. We love you. Like you're just such a pillar character in our organization. You've had tremendous success with us. How long have you been with us now?
This will be, I'm right at 7.5 years. This will be
7.5 years
in November.
And what is your agency doing roughly on a monthly basis right now?
We're between 350 and 400. Just really one of the things we're going to talk about is where I think I built my team on talent. And that doesn't last long. And we are rebuilding and we're refocused on building on rituals, because rituals and habits last a lot longer than talent. Talent's temporary. So we're excited where we're at. We're excited about the people that are with us. And so just really modeling after what you guys, last week's call was unbelievable, and just getting refocused.
That's awesome. It's an awesome message today. And, no one in our company that's doing the volume that you are, that getting around that 75 to 100,000 a week range. And I've always said that's where the real kind of money starts to flow. If you're trying to build a business, is that 75 to 100,000 a week. But more importantly, you're not really going to get to that level without the ability, to be a good leader, but to also develop leaders. You're not going to be in the $75 to $100,000 a week range without leadership on your team. And so kudos to you, man, for building leadership, for kind of, being a steward of that. And I know you got a lot more in the tank and a lot more leaders to groom and to develop over the next part of the journey. So happy to have you on, man. And sorry we went a little bit over into your time today. So take it away, buddy.
No, sir, it's your time. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity. And I promise you, you ain't seen nothing yet. I promise you ain't seen nothing yet.
That does not, that would not surprise me at all, buddy. I know you got a ton more coming, and a ton more underground growth coming as well. So I'm going to mute out and let you take it away, man. I know you got a nice little roster of leaders coming on too.
We do. So thank you. Again, Marlin Faulkner, Director Symmetry Financial Group, by the way, recruited by Nate Alford in the Matt and Brad Smith, the Edward Pritchett organization, and just super excited to be here, and just love this opportunity to be able to share with you guys. The title of today's call is The Power of Rituals, and we're going to do something a little different. I don't know if this has ever been done before, but we are going to start the call off with a video, because I don't know how many people know my story, but I get to share that with you guys today. That 7.5 years ago, I was homeless. And I got a call from Nate Alford telling me about this company, and he sent me a video. And when I got started, I didn't realize it at the time, but I got my kickoff in Symmetry with the ritual. And so I want to share with you one of the rituals that I had, because if it hadn't been for this ritual, I wouldn't be here. And I'm just forever grateful for that phone call. And I heard a quote one time that says, we don't rise to the level of our expectations, we fall to the level of our standards. And I kind of changed that and said, we don't rise to the level of our talent, we actually fall to the level of our rituals. So if you guys would take about 3 or 4 minutes, watch this video with me. I've watched this video over 3,000 times, and just excited to be able to share this with you guys. So if you'll Give me a second here. We'll share this right now.
You know, when I was a kid, I could go through a math book in a week, so I'm going to go see about the job they got down there.
What job?
Stockbroker.
Stockbroker.
Yeah.
Not an astronaut?
But I listened to what Jim Valvano said 21 years ago. The most poignant 7 words ever uttered in any speech anywhere. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Those great people didn't. So I now have a responsibility to also not ever give up. I'm not special. I just listened to what the man said.
But I tell you, there are some times in life where you fall down and you feel like you don't have the strength to get back up. I will try 100 times to get up, and if I fail 100 times, if I fail and I give up, do you think that I'm ever going to get up? No. But if I fail, I try again and again and again. For as long as I try, there's always that chance of getting up.
No matter what you might be going through, don't quit. The secret is in not giving up. Everybody who's done something great, they weren't that deep. What they had was resiliency. They had the ability to bounce back. All the greats, they didn't quit. No matter how impossible your situation may seem, stay on course. I guarantee you cannot pass it if you quit. I guarantee you're gonna fail, but you don't know what's gonna happen if you keep going.
I'm fragile. I feel pain. I hurt. I open my eyes. I crave victory. I do not give up. I feel no fear. I fear no man. I create. I conquer. I hold the power.
Make a choice. Just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way.
We can't have another bad year. You've got to get to the point where enough is enough.
It's much easier to come up with excuses and why you can't do it. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. If you do what is easy, complain about your situation, your circumstances, you surrender and give up on your dreams, become depressed and bitter and angry. Anybody can do that. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, keep coming back again and again and again. Get up dressed every day. Take life on. Taking life by the collar. You say, yes, I will do it. I can do this. And you've said to yourself, I'm willing to face the no's. I'm willing for people to laugh at me. I'm willing to gut this out. I'm willing to make this happen. It's my time. It's possible. It's necessary. It's hard. It's worth it. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can do it. If anybody's ever done it at any point in time in history, then what's possible for one, it's possible for me, and I'm going to do it. And if you do that over and over and over again, your life will be easy.
Tomorrow is going to be your first day. If you'd like to work here as a broker. Would you like that, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Woo! I don't know if you're fired up, but man, I get fired up. Listen, I was homeless 7.5 years ago, when I got started at Symmetry Financial Group, I couldn't go back to the person I was. My wife was depending on me. My kids were depending on me. And I think about now the hundreds of agents on my team were depending on me. And so I didn't realize at the time, but what I did was I started a ritual. I started watching that video. And it starts out, it says, never give up. And that's the one thing that when I made it to my first conference, that's what Brian Pope said. He said, you'll make it here if you just don't quit. See, I didn't realize it. See, I thought I was talented. I remember when I was in 3rd grade, one of my teachers told me, you have so much potential to be great. And see, that was awesome back then, but when I was 37, 38 years old, people were still telling me, you've got so much potential to be great. Listen, if you're 37, 38, and people tell you got potential, that's not a good thing. See, Tony Robbins said in one of his audios, he said that we have a 2 million-year-old brain, and it only has 2 functions, and that's to fight or fight. And your brain is set up to only help you survive. It's not set up to make you happy. And the thing that I realize is when you start to try to do something that you've never done before, your brain says, stop. Go back to what's comfortable. And see, that's what I've done my whole life. That's what I've done my whole life. I went back to being average. I went back to being lazy. I went back to making excuses. I went back to. And what we're going to talk about today is how do you apply that in your Symmetry business? We're talking about life. We're in this business. We're helping families. We're making an impact. How do you do that? And one of my guests that I want to bring on to talk about that is a man that when I recruited this guy, when I saw him, when we talked for the first time, it blew me away. This guy is a full-time regional agency director with the company. He's a full-time owns a construction company. He's a full-time firefighter. He's a full-time dad. He's a full-time husband. He's a full-time, I mean, I get exhausted just by introducing him. But the thing that I noticed about him when I first met him was because of all those things, he had to have good habits. And see, I used to look at it I was talented. And when I saw the things that this guy could do, I knew that one day we would form a unique bond. So I want to introduce my buddy, my friend, regional agency director, Mr. Michael Rudick. Michael, you there, bud?
Right here, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I know I talk about the fire department. I talk about the construction, but as a Symmetry regional agency director, man, you're building something special. Kind of like me, you went back to the drawing board and you said, this is what I've been doing. This is what was comfortable. Now let's get uncomfortable. And a lot of that, when I watched you, well, I'll talk about later, I've lost 55 pounds and this time I'm keeping it off, but it was because of some of the rituals you had in your life. So kind of give us an intro to who you are and talk a little bit about maybe kind of how rituals started. I know I talk about the fire department a lot, but one of the things that you shared with me one time is firefighters are paid to be prepared. And so talk about that and introduce yourself to everybody.
Mike Rudick, direct to Mike and Katie Rudick, direct to Derek Brock, Marlin Faulkner, Nate Alford, Brad and Matt Smith hierarchy. Blessed to be so. Really am. I've talked to all the major players in this company, and the culture here is really, it's really what's kept me around. It really is. It's what got me whenever I hear Cicely say that on those videos, and that's she's articulated so well what got me my first conference here is men like you, and the bond and the overall structure that builds us all up, and how there's just not that cutthroat, that mentality. There's just, man, the people like Ryan Miller that's on the video, the people we're going to have on today, it's just there's just no other place out there like this. I've been in a lot of business, guys. I've owned a couple of businesses, and this is a unicorn. It's a dadgum unicorn. It really is. You and I, Marlin, you've been able to give me the grace to be me, to let this meathead hang out here for a little while. You know, I was not an insurance guy whenever I came here. I was a blue collar fireman, still am. Owned a construction business, still do. That's something that, it's an example of what you can do here. You really can. You're the variable here. Men like you, and the guys that have mentored me in this business are why I've been successful, and why we've been so blessed here, and our family's been blessed. along those ways. So enough about me. We're regional agency directors. We're having a blast. We've got a second wind. When it comes to the rituals, that's kind of my wheelhouse. I joke, that stupid video, Marlin. I had to get up. I was getting up and walking around in this office because I bet if you've watched that video 3,000 times, I've watched it 2,999 because you keep sending it to me and we keep watching that thing. But I get so fired up that thing. And then so if my eyes are all puffy, it's because I'm up back here trying to fight it off. Because it just gets you going. Like it gets you like, you realize this is the place of where it's going to happen for me. This is our shot. If you are that fireman that's out there, if you're that nurse that's out there, that teacher, that oil guy, that whoever's been laid off, COVID got you furloughed, you have stumbled across the thing you've been looking for. 100%, this is your shot. I guarantee you, this is your shot. This is that opportunity you've been waiting to float along down the river. This is it. I'm telling you right now, this is your shot to make next level income with next level people and absolutely change the trajectory of your life, your kid's life from now on. Like there's a life that's already there. You just got to go step into it. And it starts with your rituals. And so for me, nobody ever asked me insurance questions. It's always I know insurance too. I don't get to talk about that stuff, but they asked me the mindset stuff. They asked me the mental stuff. They asked me the ritual stuff. And it's important. It really is. It is one of the most important things that you can do when it comes to being a self-developed person, being a next level person. There is not one single person that I know of at 110. And I've been here long enough to where I knew them all, before they were all fancy, before they were all this polished up person like yourself and Delaney and Miranda Martin and these guys that have poured back into me. I watched them grow. There's not one single person that hasn't went through an internal transformation in this company that's at the top. And there's always external evidence of that internal transformation. Every single one of them. Every one of them have went through that. And it comes to that. I really believe it comes to what are you lining up? What process are you committing to that is in line with your expectations? And that's really the issue. Our ritual has got to line up with what we want out of this life, out of this company. And if it doesn't, you're a liar. You just are. I'm the guy that's going to call it to you real. If you throw things on your calendar and then ignore them, you're a liar. You're lying to yourself. You're not lying to anybody else. Who else is putting that stuff on the calendar? And they're going, anybody can throw that stuff on the calendar. Very few can defend it. And that's the difference. That will define your income. And so all those things come into the rituals of being a fireman, like you talked about. We get paid to be ready. I don't get paid to pick babies off the bottom of pools. I don't get paid to know in the middle of the night where an address is or where this person is or where the pediatric AED pads are or where the adult AED in the bag and go through I don't get paid. I get paid to be ready. I don't get paid to do that stuff. That's the way. So how do we do that? We commit to the process that's in line with our expectations. And that's it. We know what I love about Symmetry, but Symmetry gets the blame for it.
What?
Symmetry shows what's possible. And sometimes people hate them for it. And the only reason, and I refuse to be a part of somebody who's not going to do that. Like, why would I want to say, well, stop, don't do that. We're not. Symmetry shows what's possible. We're not all adequate to the walk. Whose fault is that?
Yeah.
Whose fault is that? So it's our rituals, it's our routines, it's our execution of those, it's our commitment, it's our honesty and integrity of committing to those things daily. Whenever we're at the fire department, I got to know where everything's at on that truck. When those lights go on, I have to be consciously competent. I can't think about it. I know I was telling you this the other day that in my district, I know for a fact, it's different when you play for keeps. And in the fire department, you play for keeps, right? So there's a mom every shift. There's a mom somewhere in my district that's laying her baby down in that crib and she's leaving it. She's going across the house and she's separated and she's depending on me to know where her house is in my dead sleep. Because if she gets separated, she can't get to that baby. Somebody's got to, and she doesn't have the equipment to do that. I know so my routines and my processes, when we come in and we do the same things, we check the truck out, we look at the AD, we do with the grind of the same thing. It's because I've got to know in my sleep what I'm going to do. There is no, what are we going to do here? That's just, we're going to do, and it's your daily rituals and the things that you can get very clear about. They can really set the trajectory for how you're going to perform when the chips are down.
Yeah, that's, man. I don't think about it like that. I think I'm getting on Fridays and making calls because it's what I have to do, not what I get to do. I gotta get on a Zoom meeting, and I don't think about someone's depending on me to be prepared to help save their life. In your case, it's as a firefighter. In our case, in Symmetry, it's as agents, it's as managers. Am I prepared? I wasn't an adequate manager for a long time, preparing agents to help go out and save families. So tell us a quick story, and then I'll let you introduce your guest of, man, this is good. This stuff is good. Tell us a story about, because I'm a big firefighter guy. I guess in my former life, I wanted to be a firefighter when I was younger, but I come to the station and I'll go see Michael when he's at work at the station just so I can ride in the fire truck. And when those lights kick on, they're moving. And he's telling me, come on, let's go. He don't say nothing. I just got to go. And driving down the street. And sometimes it's a false call. Sometimes it's someone thought was having a heart attack and they had heartburn. Sometimes someone slipped and fell and they thought they broke their ankle and it was just a sprain. But as you've told me before, sometimes you get there and someone's got blood shooting out of their leg. Or sometimes you're trying to resuscitate someone and the wife's crawling on your back. So give us an example of something that, and I appreciate you doing this because this is sensitive, how you've been prepared at the fire station, and then relate it to being prepared at Symmetry.
People operate differently when you're playing for keeps. And I touched on that. Just think about that. If we took our business, and this is what I've been blessed with, whenever I'm able to sit across somebody with a mortgage protection, I'm able to deliver with passion the fact that I see the unexpected happening to the unexpected every third day. Every third day I see it. They didn't think it would happen, it happened. They didn't think it would happen, it happened. Boom, boom, boom. Somebody did everything right, somebody did everything wrong, boom. T-bone, ejections, rollovers. So what happens whenever those things happen, I've been blessed with being able to tie that. It's not hard for me to push passion or to push that across the kitchen table and show somebody a life insurance policy that's going to be a vehicle for everything that we do. And so I would say that, are you playing for keeps? Like, can you put yourself in this position? Because that's the guy I'm looking for. Remember that hungry, humble, unreasonably optimistic. You got to know who you're looking for. You got to know who you're looking for. How you going to know when you find them? You can't hit a target you can't see. So who are you? Like, and are you playing for keeps here? Are you diddle-daddle? Are you hokey-pokeying? I'm looking for the guy who has no way out, really. I mean, like, we're interviewing people. I think we've had 30 interviews in the last 2 days. We're coming. Like, we're not playing around anymore. Like, we're that guy that's backed into the corner. Yeah, we got it going on. We're coming. Who am I looking for, and how am I going to know when he shows up? It's the guy who's playing for keeps. So whenever we're at the fire department, I can't shortcut. I have to check out my guys' air masks. I got to make sure that stuff, it don't work sometimes. That's a different feeling. If I'm responsible for that, there's no shortcuts. So what if you think about it that way? What if you think about your business that way? What if you just start training your mind to think about, man, I got to play for keeps. Like, this is for real. This is not a hobby. This is my life. And I'm going to deliver myself. Okay, what's my process look like? We have to get in love with the process. That's the answer. It's not about running on a fire. It's not about running on a baby. It's not about running on a guy that was just talking to his wife 2 minutes ago and eating a pork chop. Or you were eating a pork chop 2 minutes ago. It's not about that. It's about the process. It's about getting so good in the process. It's not about the outcome. So how well are you getting good at the fundamentals of your business? Like, how pure are you? Don't lie to yourself. That is how I would bring that to, and that's how I've dedicated myself to this part of Symmetry that the fire department has blessed me with to be able to deliver that. Man, play for keeps. Try that.
I think about, you said backed into a corner. I think about Edward Pritchett that had lost his mother and was working at a job, and the economy hit, and he borrowed his girlfriend at the time's car and credit cards to make it here. And I'm thinking about guys like Brad and Matt Smith that lost their mattress business, and he's bathing his son in a tub in a 600 square foot house backed into a corner. He had to have rituals. I think about a guy, Nate Offord, had a $55,000 to $100,000 a month income taken from him, backed into a corner. I think about Jacob Pogue, who was missing his wife, and they were spending one day a week together, and he wanted to save his marriage, backed into a corner. I think about a Ryan Miller, a Carl Miller, the whole Miller clan. They lost their dad, and then their company changed plans on them, backed into a corner. I think about Brian Delaney, who was counting mills and was counting kids, and there was more kids than mills, backed into a corner. If you're on today and you're, I'm not talking to the guys that got it made that are coming over here making 100,000. I'm not talking about the guys and the ladies that are polished. I'm really looking at the guys that were like me, that were backed into a corner. What are your rituals? And Michael, I'll turn it over to you. But here are just some of my rituals. Now, I get up in the morning and I got to go get my exercise. 5 o'clock in the morning, I got to go get it. It's outside. It's starting to get cold, but I got to go get it. I got to do my personal development. I don't just listen to audios anymore. I'm reading books like David Schwartz, The Magic of Thinking Big. I'm reading Jay Shetty's Think Like a Monk. I'm reading all kind of books. And then I got to have family time, my family rituals. I got to wake up, get my kids breakfast, and get my kids to school because I'm responsible for my kids. That's before 9 o'clock in the morning. And if I don't do that, I've lost for the day because I'm real with myself. Rituals are what make us, and I thought, I don't know who I'm talking to. We're losing people. Maybe they don't like this stuff, and I'm okay if it's just one. But I thought that talent would take me so far. And it did, but I didn't want to stay there. And so, Michael, I want you to introduce your guest, key leader, killing it in this business. He's coming. He's one of the ones coming. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'll back out, and I'll take it back over in about 15 minutes.
Sounds good. Thanks, buddy. I get super fired up about this stuff, and to be able to introduce the young man, guys, today that I get to introduce is my honor. It really is. For somebody to listen and execute, to me, it's the highest form of respect, and respect just has to be my love language. So for to pour into someone and for them to take it and go and execute on it, man, we're talking love now. Okay. And so this young man, and if the leaders that are in this, they understand what I'm trying to say there. Whenever you pour into somebody and they like, okay, and they assignment, report back, that's the guys we're looking for. This is one of those guys. Okay. I am continually impressed with this young man because of his ability to come in here and take the coaching and the teaching, the difference between coachable and teachable. We all need to know that, but this guy's both. He really is. He had a 6-figure oil and gas job, one of those guys. A lot of those guys are out there. They're a gold mine. They're a gold mine if they're like this young man. So he's came in here. He has a family. His twin sister, Hannah Hendricks, is also in the business, has had a big part of his development as well, as long as her husband, Heath. And this guy's coming. He's doing a lot of recruiting. We're working very closely one another. I know he gets on a lot of networking and stuff. A lot of people in Symmetry already know his name. If you don't, you will. Mr. Hayden Berger, are you ready?
Can you hear me?
I got you.
Hey, brother.
Hey, how you doing today?
Man, I'm good. I'm fired up. What a call. I'm sitting here pacing around. I have a stand-up desk, and I kept going up and down probably 3 or 4 times. I was like, I don't know where I want to be today. Do I want to be up? Do I want to be down?
Just take that computer, just start flexing. That's what I do.
Yes, absolutely.
You got the buffalo in the background. I like that.
Yeah, it's my spirit animal right now, so we're keeping it.
There you go. Sure. Well, tell us a little bit quickly here, Hayden. We're going to run through this. Brian Pope had to talk a whole lot at the beginning of this, like he owns the company or something. Just kidding, Brian. No, let's hang out, man. One of the things that impresses me is your pedigree, your resume, your ability to come in here and go from a 6-figure job, and I think you're going to crush 6 figures here in your first year. If you're not, you're going to be real close. I don't know why you wouldn't. So tell us about. We're talking about our daily rituals. We're talking about our daily routines, and also I want to bring in a little bit of the struggle. Because I'm a struggle guy. I'm running towards it. I heard Brian Pope say one time, this year I'm going towards things that scare me. I love that. I love that because that fear dominates and robs so many people. You can come all the way back down to fear, whether it's fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of this, fear of that. It's fear, man. I hate it. So whenever I see something that scares me, I got to run to it. And I was not that man whenever I came here. And the people in this company and the people I get to hang out with have taught me that. And I found it and I love it. And I love giving that to my boys, teaching them that whenever struggle shows up, we don't ask why. We ask, what can I learn? It's completely different. Why are you here and what are you here to teach me? Not why is this happening to me? What can we learn from this? Man, you flip it on its head. So tell us about your daily routine. Tell us about how that's worked for you and what shaped you before that. Because I know you've been through some struggle to make you the man you are today.
Yeah. First off, thank you. Obviously, thank you to Brian, Casey, and Brandon. I'm direct to my twin sister and brother-in-law, Heath and Hannah Hendricks. Yes, Hannah is my twin sister. She's the better half, better looking one too. Not ashamed to admit that. But to kind of take this back to square one, to what has led me here today, I got to go back to where it first started, and it was in school. It was a learning disability. That's what's really allowed me to progress to where I am today, which carries over into my daily rituals. But when I take that back to growing up with the twin sister, we got to share life together. We were in school together. We were separated in our classrooms because of my learning disability. It's not a crutch. Don't mistake it for that. But it was something where I had to get more time on test. I had to be in special classes in smaller settings just so I could learn at that same level. And what I learned in those moments, carrying all the way to college, graduated at 26 years old. I'm still in my 20s for another year or so. But what I learned in those moments when discomfort set in is I knew things were going to take me longer. I knew it was going to take more work. You know, I couldn't excel in sports. I had a growth deficiency too. You know, what more could happen? It was a learning disability, a growth deficiency. I didn't stop though. I knew it was going to take longer. When I learned how to play golf, I would stay on the range and get blisters on my hands and hit 1,000 balls each night just to get where I wanted to get. Same thing to this business, which all carried in to my daily rituals. I had to change the way I thought. I had to change the way I did things. If I know it's going to take more work, I just have to ask myself, Hayden, are you willing to do what it takes to get to where you want to go? Right? And I also know that most dreams are realistic when you stop looking for shortcuts. You have to lean in. My daily rituals and the things that I do, you know, it starts first thing in the morning. You know, some days I get up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., but I know the first 3 hours of my day, if I don't own them, my day's shot. My day is absolutely shot. I have to wake up. I have to get some exercise in. I got to put that phone to the side. I got to get some YouTube in. I got to get the motivational juices flowing. And then I have to just work on myself, spend some time in the darkness where you really find yourself in this business. And I think one thing, those rituals, they're all fine and good, but you got to have them. You got to have those simple disciplines, because if you don't have those, you're not going to be able to get to where you want to go. If you don't work on yourself, that's why when people talk about making your schedule, you have to start with yourself, because if you're not ready for those families, for your family, and you're not working on yourself, how can you expect to be all that you can be? So that's what I have on that, Michael. Hopefully I answered that good for you.
Absolutely. That's I wanted you to touch on a little bit of that because it's really made you who you are. And
Yeah.
you know, and I know that's private things, but that's your struggle, and people need to hear it. They do. That made you who you are and how you view opposition when it shows up. And that's the biggest difference that I see with people that come to any business, is how are they viewing struggle? Because you define it by how you view it. You define it by how you perceive it. You define it by how you react to it. So that I have mad respect for the guy that looks at struggle and looks at the tough things and says, I got to be better. I got to find a way. I got to be better. So for those people that are out there, I don't know a successful person that doesn't have a routine. Like, and I'm still getting mine. Like, I've got miles to go, but I feel like that I'm just getting started. We've been doing 75 hard, you know, we've been back and forth. I think you're doing it right now. I'm doing it right now. I'm on day 16 or 17. They start running together, but that has taken me, and that commitment to that routine, it's almost like a gateway. It's almost like the master key. Like I can commit to that structure and that routine, and it can give me the focus I need for the rest of my business to grow and to, so what do you do? What do you focus on that gives you that leverage point, that purchase point? Because you're wearing a lot of hats right now. You're in that dogfight. You're where you're like, man, am I going to hire a recruiter? Do I need an assistant? Which one do I need? You know, I've got to keep my place as #1 producer in the Rudick Master. I've got to crank these recruits up here. So like, you're squeezing the blood out of the turnip right now. Like, this is where you're making all the money you're going to make. It's just not here yet. Like, whenever you're doing that 100,000, that 200,000 a month deal that Casey was talking about, whenever you crank to that level where you're making that level of money, you're making it right now. It's just not here yet. So tell us a little bit about how you do what you're doing to be able to wear all those hats and the focus it takes.
You know, it's there's no magic answer for this. Oftentimes we're already doing the exact things that we need to do. We're just not aware enough of those things and how to align them in our daily schedules. But it all ties back to the same daily routine. If I don't execute that, it's not a thing I execute Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday because those are the days I'm mostly in the field. No, I have to wear that hat of a recruiter, an onboarder, and these different things until I have someone in place that I can trust and take that leap and allow them to come into my business to protect the team, to have that safe place. I have to do that Sunday to Saturday. I have to wake up. I have to get done what I need to get done before I can be ready to face the day with agents that I work with. Those people are my family. Symmetry, my family. Like, that's how I treat this. It's very serious. It's very intentional. And that's how I'm able to do those things. I have to be prepared. I mean, if you want to get, if you're feeling webinaritis, if it's a pain for you, or if you're getting tired of hopping on these calls, it's probably because you're not working on yourself enough. Ask yourself that. You know, if you have any reservations, you know, do an ego check. Look into that first, because it's not the system. Maybe you're not ready for it, right? But you can be. You absolutely can be. So I would answer it that way. There's no magic answer to it. It's this business cannot be made hard. There's only a few things we do here in order to find success. It's just a matter of how long is it going to take you? It may take me longer than it takes, you know, Michael Rudick. It may take me longer than it took Marlin Faulkner or Nate Alford or any of those guys, but that's okay. I've been doing that my whole life and I'm willing to do it. So let's go.
I love that. I love that, brother. You said that the other day on a call. Somebody asked, you know, what if we have too many calls? What if we have too many conference calls? And your reaction was, the only time I feel like we have too many conference calls is whenever I'm not in control of my schedule. Is whenever I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, and now I'm trying to use the call time to catch up. Man, that's it. Like, that's it. That's the truth. That's the you to you. That's the one-to-one. So I love what you bring to our agency, brother. I love the realness that you challenge me with. I love running with you. I know we have a lot of fun with that, and I appreciate you adding value to our call today.
I got a final thing I just wanted to share since to Symmetry Nation. Just two little quotes. It's never too late to become all that you were created to be. And in order to go there, always remember you have to be willing to grow there. So don't be afraid to do that.
Awesome. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you a lot. Keep being you. He's coming. Marlin, I'll let you have it back. I could keep going with him, but I'll give you some. That's the call.
I told Todd Spivey text me. I texted him back. I'm taking notes on my own call. Hayden Berger said most dreams are realistic when you stop looking for shortcuts. Wow. I got to drop 2 more. I heard Inky Johnson this weekend. He said, never complain about something you aren't willing to change. And the other thing I heard from Justin Forsett was, if you're too big to serve, then you're too small to lead. That's almost a Brian Delaneyism. That might fit into a Delaneyism. If you're too big to serve, you might be too small to lead. I just remember that rituals are talent's what got me started, but rituals are going to keep me here a long time. Guys, I was one of the worst about reading, about owning my schedule. Michael, real quick, what was that quote that Edward shared with you about your schedule?
He said, I stole it from him.
Yeah, we stole it from him.
I try and take credit for it. Thanks, Marlin. What was it he said? When I first got here, he told me, I was on the phone with him, his mentoring call, and he said the first thing he does whenever he goes on vacation is he throws his planner across the room. And I was like, I don't see Edward as an emotional guy. I like that. Edward throwing his planner across the room. I like that. But that stuck with me because it's not like Edward to do that. And he said, anybody can put things on a calendar, but not just anybody can defend that schedule. Anybody can throw things on a schedule, but not everyone can defend that schedule. And your income will be defined by your ability to defend your schedule.
I love that. That was one of the hardest things for me. And I've got 2 admins that they know my schedule better than I do. They'll call and remind me because, guys, I'm talking to the person who hates schedules. It is the life crutch of my life. It has to be. It has to be. So thanks again, Mike. I'll bring you back. I'm going to introduce this lady is another key leader of the Faulkner Agency. She came by way of my wife. She's friends with my wife and looked at this. And she was looking at either going to Lowe's and working part-time or coming to Symmetry. And man, I'm super glad she did. Key leader, top producer, Jen Baines. Jen, you there?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Well, tell us a little about yourself, kind of what you were doing before. I know you're here. You're a key leader. You're pushing towards manager. By the beginning of the year, you will be a new broken out manager. And so just talk about kind of where you came from and how it's been, how's it feel to be here and what's good?
Yeah, absolutely. Just appreciate you, Marlin. Thanks for having me on, and definitely Brandon Casey. Just an awesome opportunity that Symmetry's been. Can't be more grateful. Being in Nate Offert's line, just the effort he's put in and all that, what I've learned from his SWAT events. Definitely super thankful. Matt and Brad Smith, Power Dialer, Virtual Mentor, just the effort and the accessibility that they give to their teams. And what a leader Edward Pritchett is, just leading from the front on the leaderboards, guys. So just super thankful to be here. But yeah, when I first came, I was part-time. I had a landscape company that was just literally wearing me out. And I went and applied at Lowe's, and I thought, okay, this kind of ties into landscaping. I can do this, love to be around people. And she offered me the position, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't give my life away and all the time traded and time with my kids and time with my family. Even though I was emotionally and physically worn out, I knew that there was better out there. And just watching the example that you've had, and just, yes, knowing you before you were part of Symmetry and seeing how this has dramatically changed your life, I'm just super thankful to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah, you did. You knew us when I was on food stamps and living in life and pretending that I was okay, knowing that I really wasn't in my heart. It's kind of weird to look back, but talk about kind of rituals in your life, because you've come in here, you kind of dabbled for a little bit, then you got really serious, and then you went through some turmoil, and now you're on fire recruiting, writing business, $20,000 producer, recruiting 20 people a month. Talk about some of the rituals that you've had to implement in your life and how they helped you.
Yeah, absolutely. When I first got here, to be quite honest, I didn't have any rituals set up. I was completely relying, like you said, on that talent. Hard work. I had always been kind of a natural leader, firstborn, loved to take charge, and sometimes so much in a negative way. I had a huge ego check just coming here, and what you have taught me was really this thought ethic. I came here and thought I could just run circles and this was going to be easy. I'd owned businesses before. I thought I could survive on that work ethic. And very quickly, I learned that I had to put more into the thought ethic. I was so low in that area.
Absolutely. So what happens? I remember. So let's talk about rituals. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I remember when you were in January. Was it last year? It wasn't this year, was it? Was it last year? In January, I had gone to Puerto Rico to see Edward Pritchett, and I was gone, and I came back, and you hadn't written any business. And the next week, you went out and had the biggest week of your life. I think you wrote 18,000 that week, and you were in a car wreck. And I want you to talk about that, because I think your rituals kind of helped you have that week, because it started off good, and then you had the car wreck. So can you think about some of the rituals that you had implemented at that time that kind of changed the trajectory of your life here at Symmetry?
Yeah, so that was definitely back in January 7th, 2019. And yes, I mean, coming up on a new year, looking back the week prior to that car wreck, I had started implementing Nate Offert's blue cards and just speaking affirmations and writing those down, writing down my goals. I hadn't done that in a while, and just writing down what I wanted, right? You know, telling myself what I can do and who I was going to be. And I had, for the first time, I had never written over 10,000 in a week. And I was barely at about 15, maybe 17,000 a month at that point. But I wrote it down because you said, I know you have more in you, Jen. I know you can do this. And so I started to borrow your belief and believe it myself. And when I trusted that I had the potential and that I could do this, just believing and writing that down. Yeah. And to go back to that week when you guys were on vacation, I just thought, okay, I'm going to blow this out of the water. This is going to be, I'm going to, you know, be the #1 producer for him. And just, boy, was that ever farther from the truth. Ended up having zero production. We had an ice storm, driving 2 hours one way to the city. You know, just had a lot of reschedules, no shows. Wasn't really able to get out and door knock, but just that next week, I just knew from the rituals, from going, because what I had learned in the 6 months prior is when I had made those phone calls and made those appointments, you taught me to focus on the activity and not the results. And so even if I had 2 appointments scheduled, even if I had 1 family scheduled, I knew that by rituals, I was still going to that appointment. Even if they texted me, guys, I had people text me on the way down, hey, we want to cancel. You know what? I knew by habit and what you had created and what you taught me that I was going to go anyway, right? Because they were a family that needed help and they had asked for that. And I was the one that was going to help them. So I remember driving down. It was Monday morning, took my son to school at 8, got on the road, had an appointment at 11 o'clock in the city, showed up, knocked at the door. My lead was and the guy I talked to on the phone was a 65-year-old. And this probably 25, 30-year-old answered the door. And I thought maybe I'm at the wrong house. You don't really sound like George. You don't look like George. Come to find out that was his father. And so he asked me to come in. I came in, and if you've been at Symmetry before Corona and you've been in the field, you can know sometimes it's a little bit uncomfortable. Sometimes it's not what we're used to. I had to learn to get out of that comfort zone and care more about the people that I was helping than how comfortable I was. So I went in, sat down, food everywhere, just complete, utter. I probably should have maybe called someone, but I cared more about helping them in that moment than making a sale. You had taught me through rituals that just, at that point, I had always sold on just a lower belief, just on my budget, what I would spend, right? I wouldn't show what the clients could really do because I was always too scared, you know, being in a place of desperation, whether I had a week of 0 before, or maybe I had a chargeback, or I had an agent quit, and, you know, just being in that desperate place. But this was the first time that I really focused on what does he need? Looking at the situation, he had a grandson that was running around, not in school, and had a son that was mentally challenged. And this gentleman was probably 84 years old, came out, could barely walk, oxygen tank on, and I just felt so much compassion for him. And I did. Marlin, I showed him the first number, like you said. We prepped, we went over it, we risk assessed, we did everything. I knew that I had a product that could help him, and it was my job to deliver that. So we did, and I ended up writing close to about 9,800 before lunch that day, and called you crying, and just couldn't believe it, just overwhelmed. Had more appointments throughout the day. 4:30 comes along, afternoon traffic's getting busy. Sitting in a left-hand lane and fixing to turn left. I was literally, I could see the house that I was going to next, 2 houses off the road. And I briefly look up in my rearview mirror and see this gold car. And I just remember bracing and not even really knowing what was going to happen next. And just hit my head on the window, went across the road. Luckily, did not hit any oncoming traffic. And the first thing when I stopped was my first thought, and I know it was from the rituals and just doing this and sticking with the process and all the time put in. I just knew everybody that came to help me, I couldn't move. I didn't know if I was even hurt, but I knew that I had all my folders, my laptop, everything around the car. I knew I needed to get that because I had people that were counting on me, and I had a guy that I was 100 feet from was expecting me to knock on his door, and I wasn't there. And I knew that I had to call them and I had to do something. I didn't know what yet. I was still waiting. The fire department hadn't shown up. They put me in a neck brace just for safety. And when I get to the hospital, my husband's on shift. He's also a firefighter like Michael. He's 2 hours away. Marlin, I called you, you're 2 hours away. So I ride by myself in the ambulance. And after a period of time, 2 or 3 hours, after we get the results from the CT scan, I just remember sitting there. And when my husband showed up, I said, hey, can you hand me that bag? And I just remember calling everybody that night, knowing that they were depending on me and knowing how it felt when you were there for me, Marlin, when those times when I wasn't for sure in myself, I didn't know if I could do this. I didn't know if I could make one more drive. I didn't know if I could pick up the phone and make one more phone call. Just having that you believe in me helped me believe in the clients. And just so grateful. And I rescheduled everybody to Thursday. That was on Monday. Got home. My Jeep was totaled. Rebooked all the appointments and went down Thursday and wrote another 9,000. I probably shouldn't have been driving. I was still I was sore. But I knew it was bigger than me. I knew for the first time that I could believe in something more.
Wow. I'll never forget knowing that you've been in an accident. I was calling your husband as he's driving down to get to you, and you're in the hospital. He finds out everything's okay. And I'm expecting to get a call, hey, we're headed home. And you send me this picture. And it was you in a neck brace, and you were making your dials to rebook your appointments. And I realized that's what rituals do.
Yeah.
So I learned something a few months ago. I don't know if I thought of this or I heard it, but I learned that average unsuccessful people look at conditions, and wealthy people make a decision. And you made a decision whether you were in a car wreck, whether you were hurt, whether those people needed you. Like Michael Rudick said, we got to do this as though our life depends on it. And you had the biggest week of your life, but more than that, you helped people. And it's forever going to change the trajectory of their life. And so I don't know if we got about a minute or two. I know you had a story to share about rituals. If you want to share that, I know your son's a Marine. You talked about that. Just raising a Marine. What's that like? A minute or two before we hurry up and get off this call. If you want to share something, I'll let you share that real quick.
Yeah, I'd love to. A couple of weeks ago, I was at a doctor's appointment for some therapy for I just have a heel spur on my foot. So, and there's a pond outside, and I had made the decision, that was on a Wednesday, and I had made a decision on Saturday prior that I was going to start the 75 hard. I've watched you and Michael do it, watched Hayden, and I was just afraid of jumping in. So I just made a decision I was going to do this, and I had to walk outside. And so I was like, okay, this is going to be part of my time. I'm going to get this done. And I started walking around this pond, and it didn't hit me until about 4 or 5 laps in that I was going in the same direction. And it just, in my spirit, I just thought, I need to change directions. I didn't know why, but I know it's just from the program and the rituals that I had become so comfortable with pivoting and changing and getting used to being told no, being porched, having apps cancel, going through all of that. I couldn't even walk in the same direction. I had to change directions. And even more than that, after I had changed directions, I was so programmed to not get in that rut that every other lap, I would switch directions again. I'd pick a new point. And I think here at Symmetry, when we get in those ruts, sometimes I could only focus on one positive thing the week. If there was one positive thing, even if it was just my attitude and I didn't have the results I wanted, I'd put in the activity, I just had to pick a new focal point and I had to keep walking toward that. And what I remember seeing was just sometimes around that circle, there was sunlight and there were times that it was shaded. And I could take an extra breath and I could catch my breath in the shade. And then when I got to the sun, I'd be more energized. And I think just here, sometimes we have those ups and downs, and just the power of one more phone call. I mean, this is what I know, that it only took one person named Rosa to believe that she could sit on that bus. It only took one guy named Martin to believe that he had a dream. One girl named Amelia believed she could fly. One little boy named Michael who believed he would grow up to be a firefighter. And just one little girl that believed she could grow up and own a business. And my son, one little boy that believed he could grow up and be a Marine. And when he joined the Marines, when he joined the military, guys, I know this, he didn't just join the military, he became a Marine. And that's how I've planted my flag here at Symmetry. And I didn't just join Symmetry. Symmetry has gotten in me and I've become a part of it. And so grateful, so thankful for this opportunity. Just appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Jen. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You don't just join the Marines, you become a Marine. And I'm going to end with my last 3 minutes. Hang on with me if you're still there. We got 1,000 people still on. If you're still on, you're excited. This is the last video. I watch this video every day because I have to remind myself who I'm fighting for. I have to remind myself who I was created to be. So if you'll give us a few seconds, 3 more minutes, hang on, and we're done. But rituals will keep you. See, talent will get you there, but rituals will keep you there. What rituals do you have in your life? I'm gonna share this video and then we'll end with this.
Today, gentlemen, I've been honored to coach you. More honored to take you into the field of battle. But there's another honor that's been bestowed upon you. And that is the mantle that comes with that question. Who am I? I am a champion. That's right. You need to remember that all through this game. I will conquer what has not been conquered. Defeat will not be in my creed. I will believe what others have doubted. I will always endeavor to uphold the prestige, honor, and respect of my team. I have trained my mind and my body will follow. Who am I? I am a champion. I will acknowledge the fact that my opponents do not expect me to win. But I will never surrender. Weakness will not be in my heart. I will look to my comrades and to those who have brought me to this world and those who have trained me, and I will draw strength from them. Who am I? I am a champion. I will gradually go out to the field of battle, and I will move in everything I can do. And I will reach my field of battle at any means at my disposal. And when I get there, I will rise violently. I will rip the heart from my enemy and leave it bleeding on the ground, because he cannot stop me. Who am I? I am a champion. To my side, I have comrades. Comrades that have been through me through thick and thin, through sacrifice, through blood, through sweat, through tears. Never will I let them fall. Never will I let them down. And I will never leave an enemy behind. Because our opponent does not know my heart. Who am I? I am a champion. No one will deny me. No one will define me. And no one will tell me who and what I am and can be. Belief will change my world. It has moved continents, it has moved countries, it has put man on the moon. And it will carry me through this battle. Who am I? I am a champion. Defeat, retreat, those are not in my words. I don't understand those definitions. I don't understand when things go wrong. I don't understand mistakes. But I do understand this. I understand victory, and I understand never surrendering. No matter how bad things go, my heart, my mind will carry my body when my limbs are too weak. Who am I? I am the champion. Today will be that day. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, right here, in your house and in your home. Who am I? I am the champion. History will remember me. I will not let everybody be kind. I will define myself. I will write my own praises. And no one will tell me what I can never be. I will never go out not knowing I've given everything I've got. Because who am I? I am a champion. 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 Because all these champions are playing 1, 2, 3 champions. Go get these boys.
guys, thank you very much for being on the call. Remember this, I watch that video every single day. Make a decision right now, not tomorrow, not tonight, right now. Write out your rituals. I have to remind myself that I'm a champion. History will not defy me. This is the best company in the industry. This is the best company in the world. And we're taking guys who want to be champions to go change their lives. And it starts with yourself. It starts with you. It starts with rituals. Let's go win. Let's go change lives. We'll see you guys at the top.